Welcome to Cursor Learn. This course will teach you how to use AI to be more effective as a programmer. It's not a course about machine learning or how to train your own models, but instead a course focused on developers, writing software, using AI models and tools. Now, to really use AI tools well, you need to have an understanding of how the models work, the different types of models, and what some of their limitations are. So let me give you an analogy. Imagine you're trying to get across town. You could walk. Of course, that's free, but it may take a little longer. You could ride a bike, but that's going to require a little bit of money and it's slightly faster. Or you could drive a car. It costs the most money, but it's going to be the fastest way. Now, you're probably thinking, what about public transportation? And I'm sorry if you live in New York or somewhere in Europe. I get it. Now, the reason I like this example is because you have the choice between time, money, reliability, and effort. Now, let's apply the same idea to building a software product. If we go look at Cursor, for example, I might do export, default, function, page. It could be really slow, but you could get really good with your Vim motions and all of your editor tricks to just really nail text editing, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, by the way. Now, you can also use things like IDEs that have more built-in tools like language server protocols. Now let's try that same thing again, but in an IDE like Cursor. So I can type export, default, function, and you see we're getting these helpful bits of feedback from a language server that can help you move faster as you're writing code. Now this is great, and I would highly recommend working with language servers. And recently, we've seen another improvement, integrating AI models into how we write code. Now, with a little bit of practice and a little bit of effort, they can help you move even faster. So let me try this same thing again, but I'm going to turn on Cursor Tab, which you can think of like a very helpful autocomplete for your code. So as I type export, you're going to see this ghost text. It's a little dimmed out. And this ghost text, I actually can tab to accept the recommendation. So I'm going to hit tab. That looks great. And then it has another suggestion. So I'm going to hit tab to accept that as well. Now, this can be very helpful as the AI learns more about the patterns of how you write code, and it tries to help you just save time predicting the next most likely action you want to take, whether it's completing a line or adding an import or even jumping to another file. There are millions of us right now curious how AI might help us be more productive, but we want to understand how to use these tools before we invest further. And really working with AI is kind of like a new type of programming entirely. Maybe in the most basic example, I don't have to go dig through Google or read through a bunch of different documentation sites to find what I'm looking for. But as the complexity grows, maybe AI can help us intelligently autocomplete our code like I showed, or even create entire files based on our guidance and our existing code base. That sounds amazing, but if you don't have a great mental model for how AI works and critically its limitations, it can be kind of a frustrating experience if I'm being honest. The AI model might generate some code that doesn't really work, and then you ask it to fix that change, and that still doesn't work, and then you get in this cycle where you can't figure out what's right and what's not right. That's really frustrating. So what I want this course to be is to help you understand the foundations and also to show you practical patterns for how you can build software using AI models and the latest tools. We're going to show you some examples in Cursor, but generally a lot of these patterns apply to really any model or product. All right, let's get started.